Wait a second. The Chaos Sanctuary is actually terrible to farm? No, of course not. Everybody knows that usually you get a ton of experience in the Chaos Sanctuary, and they know that everybody farms the Chaos Sanctuary, but what exactly makes it so good for farming? That's what I'm going to go over today, along with a huge tip that really could help out a ton of people depending on what you're looking for. You might be wasting your time in the Chaos Sanctuary. I'm going to put that information at the end of the video, and make sure you check it out because this is actually some stuff that I just found out pretty recently myself. Now, first up, you might be wondering, hey, if we're talking about the Chaos Sanctuary today, why are you standing outside of Act 2? That's because to kind of understand one of the reasons that makes the Chaos Sanctuary good to farm, to magic find, and all that good stuff is kind of take a look at other places you can go ahead and farm. Now, the Stony Tombs is an 85 area where you can find every single item in the game. Now, if you are online, you can see up here the map's not exposed. You got to come out here and go ahead and find it. Now, on single player, I know exactly where it is. I can zip right to it, but especially when you're online, even with teleport, like look how fast I'm moving around. Even with this, it can take you some serious time to stumble upon it. It is incredibly random where this is at. We finally found it. So yeah, it took me like 30 seconds just to find where this is at. And that wasn't even a long time. Sometimes you'll teleport around the whole area and just not see it. Now you can see we're going down in the catacombs. Let's take out Andariel. Now, most people know map reading. And even with map reading though, it can take you a minute. Imagine if you didn't have teleport. Obviously, we know we want to stick to the right wall right here in order to find our way down to the next level. But the level under that, getting down to level 4 here, yeah, it's actually just a guess and check game. So it can take you quite a while. And imagine once again, let's say you're one of them paladins at the beginning and you don't have teleport. It would take you forever to go farm these type of locations to find your way down. So that is a big reason that makes a Chaos Sanctuary, first of all, good to farm. Most people know you just come out to the River of Flames waypoint right here, and this map is identical every time. You just zip this way, and boom, you're in the Chaos Sanctuary. So yeah, this location being so easy to find is a huge reason that makes it a great spot to farm early on and even later game in Diablo 2. On top of it being incredibly easy to find, the place is set up almost identical every time. Sometimes these spindles coming out this way are set up ever so slightly different, but the seals are always in the same spots generally over here. So it is incredibly easy to navigate as well. Now you heard me mention it when I was talking about the Stony Tombs. Now all of these champions up here can drop every single item in the game in the Chaos Sanctuary as well, because this is all a level 85 area as well. So this champion right here could give me literally every single item in the entire game. Another thing important to note when you take a look at the standard monsters in here, what they are actually immune to. Now you have Sunder Charms and stuff, so it's not as big of a deal. But you can see right here, these guys are immune to fire. So a lot of times people don't rock fire builds in hell difficulty, so that makes this a good place. On top of that, these are demons. So as you know, the Fist of Heaven's Paladin does damage to demons and undead. These are also not immune to physical, so anything such as this Wind Druid or any physical dealing damage type of builds are going to have no problem. As you move up, you see these Stormcasters immune to lightning. These guys, there's a couple that are immune to cold, but most of them are immune to fire, so you can even kind of farm in here with cold builds. So really, there aren't the magic immunes that are really annoying for Hammerdins. There aren't a ton of physical immunes or anything like that that really negate any of the physical damage and stuff like that. So even if you have, you know, any of the lightning damage dealing builds, these guys have a very low life. Infinity breaks their immunity, so even before Sunder Charms, you could farm in here real good, and it just got even better after Sunder Charms. So the immunity range in here is another reason that kind of makes it a good spot to farm. Now, speaking of these little Stormcasters, let's drop over to a drop odds calculator, and I'm going to give you another amazing reason why farming in the Chaos Sanctuary is so sick. Sorry, this website has no dark mode, but it really is the best one I love using to determine drop odds on stuff. Now, we're just looking at players 1 difficulty. The magic find isn't going to matter a whole lot because for this particular example here, we're looking up the monster drop odds for a Burr Rune. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at that particular monster, those finger mages, in the Chaos Sanctuary. Now, as we look at the drop odds right over here, you see a lot of them are like 1 in, what is this, over 1 million? That's what a lot of them are. Some of the other stuff is lower. But hey, here's these Stormcasters / finger mages from the Chaos Sanctuary. It's actually 1 in 350,000. So yeah, these are actually considered the category of ghosts, and ghosts have higher rune drop chances due to their more limited drop table. So actually, these finger mages are absolutely amazing if you're searching for any type of runes. More specifically, obviously, you're hoping to get those high runes. Now, the rune drop rate, as you see here from a standard monster, we'll just take this Steel Scarab, for example, is almost 3 times higher. They're in the Chaos Sanctuary, and they're actually incredibly weak in here. Now, you don't have to deal with the incredibly powerful ones, such as the Gloams and the Souls. Those are considered ghosts as well. They are in some other areas, but man, they absolutely wreck you. But if you're going after these Stormcasters, these type of finger mages in the Chaos Sanctuary, it's a real good spot to try to get yourself some high runes. Now, for the next one, we're actually going to stay over on the drop odds calculator here, and I'm actually going to talk about something people might be doing wrong in the Chaos Sanctuary, and they might have been doing wrong for an incredibly long time. I'm going to be honest, this is something I didn't even know until semi-recently, so make sure you stick around and listen to this. So let's say particularly you're someone doing a Holy Grail like myself. Maybe perhaps the last couple items you have are Mang Songs and Tyrell's Might and a Griffin's Eye. And let's go with the Griffin's Eye, for example, because a lot of people want to use that one. It's actually a pretty darn rare item, and it is actually incredibly awesome. So let's go ahead and look at the boss here. Let's go ahead and take a look at unique items, and let's go ahead and pull up the Griffin's Eye. Now, at players, we'll increase the drop odds even or whatever. Who cares? Players 8, party size 8 with 300% magic find. Going after bosses. Let's see what are the odds that Diablo drops me this particular item. Wait, hold on a second. Diablo's not even listed here. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's actually a ton of items that Diablo actually cannot drop. I don't know why necessarily the game was designed this way, but he's monster level 94, but for whatever reason, he has a lower treasure class level. So actually things like a Griffin's Eye, things like Tyrell's Might, Diablo actually cannot drop. For some reason, the name of the game is Diablo, and Diablo can't even drop every single item in the entire game. Kind of a crazy quirk of the game, but if you're specifically trying to find those Holy Grail items, the last few, and you want to do it kind of as efficiently as possible, get it actually done faster, you actually probably want to skip Diablo if you're running the Chaos Sanctuary to try to find those items. But that's not all, folks. You notice I put super unique in here. Maybe we're going to look at Grand Vizier. Maybe we're going to talk about Infector. I wonder if you can go ahead and, oh, wait a second. You notice there's no Chaos Sanctuary here. Now, even though it's an 85 area, the random mobs, like the trash bosses or whatever you want to call them, the elites and champions, they can drop every single item in the game, but actually the seal bosses cannot. So if you're trying to find those incredibly rare uniques doing a Holy Grail, the Chaos Sanctuary, going around and just taking out the random champions and then not even really worrying about hitting the seals is actually going to be your best bet, because the seal bosses and then obviously Diablo has no chance, has absolutely no opportunity to drop you the item that you're looking for. You're really just going to want to stick to these guys right here. These are just the generic champions in the Chaos Sanctuary, and that's where you'll get your Griffin's Eye or your Tyrell's Might, your Mang Songs, whatever you're looking for. For me, on my personal grail though, one of the items I'm looking for, I got right here, actually the Wisp Projector. Actually, Diablo can drop that, and on top of that, we're going to come over here, and actually, the Chaos Sanctuary, the seal bosses also can drop it. So I actually have a decision to do. My last 2 items, Wisp Projector and Tyrell's Might on the Holy Grail. So if you love Diablo 2 content, make sure you subscribe up. I actually stream right on this channel, and check me out over on Twitch as well. I actually dual stream on both YouTube and Twitch, whatever platform you prefer, check me out on. So, hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button before you go. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying. Ooh.